have a good time, but eventually someone ends up falling in love. Alrighty then. Oh. Hello and welcome back to ZacharyTunes. It's me, your boy Zach. Hello, how are we, my friends? It has been about a week from the last one, and we're ready to go again. I'm not sure why I've said about a week. It is dead on a week because I record these on Mondays, so it is dead on a week. It has been a week. It really has. I'll tell you that much. I've found out a lot of things that weren't in order that I thought were, that I'm trying to deal with and fix now, largely in terms of with my ability to work here. There were some things that I've had some issues with trying to sort out, which makes a lot of sense as to why I was struggling before. So now we're in the process of trying to fix these things up and make it so that we can get back on track. How that goes, we will keep you up to date. It's been giving me a little bit of stress. By a little bit of stress, I mean a lot of stress, actually. Let's be real here. It's caused me a lot of worry, a lot of stress, and it's not over yet. And I'm not sure quite how it's going to resolve itself. But all I can do is attempt to do so. So I will keep you up to date on that, and we'll see how that goes. On slightly more fun news, I just finished watching the most recent episode of One Piece. I will try my best not to spoil things for anyone out there who hasn't watched it, because I am a strong believer that if you have not, you should. It's every One Piece watcher's destiny. We are the Jehovah's Witness of anime watchers. You watch it, you get converted, first of all. Someone goes, hey man, you gotta watch it, or there's something that tells you gotta watch it. And this is the thing, is I'm a massive anime lover. I spend a lot of time watching through animes and really enjoying them. And if you really enjoy animes, you have to watch One Piece, because if you go to somebody else who watches anime and you start talking to them about anime, whatever opinion you have becomes invalid the moment they go, oh, have you watched One Piece? And then you haven't. You can no longer say anything to them now because they've watched One Piece. So I used to get that a lot. So I was like, you know what? I had finished Naruto. That was my last long one back then. I'd finished a bunch of the small ones that I was watching at the time, and I didn't have any that would really keep me going. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. Let's not have these commitment issues. I know it's a long show, but let me just start, and we'll get there by the end of it. And boy, am I glad that I did, because what a world of storytelling. Oh my lord. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievably good. And I was like, okay, I get it. Once I'd watched it, I was like, I get it. I've been enlightened. I understand why everyone that watches it says, hey, watch it. And once you do it, you then turn around to everyone and go, hey, watch it. And it just, once you've done it, it makes sense. And I have to implore you, if you have not watched One Piece, please, for the love of God, go and watch it. I know everyone, but please, for the love of God, go and watch it. I just watched the most recent episode, and this is the thing, is I don't know what I can say without there being spoiled. Like, the thing is there's so many episodes that it doesn't really matter what you say, because it won't give away everything. You know, like, there's so much to go on that it needs so much context for things to make any sort of sense. But yeah, very glad to be watching that. On a different side of that equation, on a very short anime that's coming out at the moment, Kaiju number 8. Can we talk about Kaiju number 8 for a second here? Because I've watched a lot of anime. I have watched a lot of anime. I've watched a lot of 12 episode 1 season animes. I've watched a lot of like 24 episode 2 season animes and stuff like this. And I saw Kaiju number 8 get released, and I was like, okay, another cool little sort of shonen style anime. You got your main character gets a power up, blah 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 blah. Cool, sweet. I'll give that a watch. I didn't really think anything of it. Excuse me, I was not expecting the depth of characters that we get in it. That's the main thing for me. Is often with these like shorter animes or the new like sort of new animes, you have maybe 3 mildly interesting characters included in the main character, and you don't really care about the rest. Like, they sort of exist, sure, but you don't really care about the rest. But for such a short anime, for the short amount of time they had, they really do well the building of care for a character. Like, the speed at which you grow on these characters is very quick, and there's such a sense of, I don't know, like familiar, you know what I mean, like family bonds between the characters, and that makes you feel part of it, because it's very much, well, it's the idea, it's kaiju, aliens against humanity. It's this whole idea of humanity banding against something else, which we could go into a whole racism talk with that, but maybe I'll avoid that for now. Segue, actually, briefly, there's a song by Seb Lowe called Here Come the Aliens, which is essentially on the idea of, if aliens came down, that would be the only way that humans would come together. Because, like, for example, in America, where they go, oh, right now they're like, oh, it's the Mexican, the alien immigrants, it's them, and then everyone hates them and joins together as a team to hate on them. If aliens came down, then we'd all turn together and be like, right, let's discriminate against them. That song, big fan. But Kaiju number 8 sort of feeds off that sort of idea of humanity versus, and it's not only has it got a interesting storyline, like, it's not, I'm not saying it's the most complex storyline by far, but it's a good storyline, good characters, and very good visuals. It's pleasantly surprised me. And now I know that ZacharyTunes is a show where we talk about music and we go into that. But in a whole, I'm just a media lover. I love all forms of media, and you can see how, both by sound and visual, I love just consuming content forms that people are. This is the thing, it is art. It's just different formation of art. It's a team has expressed this imagery, this story in a certain way, and I enjoy taking that in. I'm a big nerd for watching TV shows, watching films, watching anime, listening to music, anything like that. I love it. I do love it. So especially on these fronts, I'm trying to think what other animes am I watching them now. I'm watching Kaiju number 8. I'm rewatching Parasite the Maxim currently. One of my favourite animes of all time. It is phenomenal. It really gives you the idea of the premise of it is a natural predator for humans gets introduced to gets introduced to planet Earth, and it follows the story of that, and it's fantastic. And I love the way it makes you think, and the character depths in that, the like philosophy in that is very good. Also, it's got great sound. It's got great audio. What's the word? Audio engineering. I'm gonna stick with that one. I think that's what I want to say. and I'm using that currently as my cardio show, right? So when I go to the gym, before I go, I download a couple of episodes of Parasite, and then when I go, I'll do my workout, then I'll sit on the bike after, put Parasite on the screen instead of the timer, put Parasite on, and I'll sit there and I'll just watch 1 or 2 episodes of Parasite. While I sit there and I'll cycle, I'll just watch Parasite. And sure, I'm doing the cycling, but my idea is I'm watching Parasite, and if I'm not doing cardio, I can't watch Parasite. Which does help. It drags me through the cardio, and it makes it more enjoyable. So for anyone that hates cardio, I would suggest finding something you can do at the same time that you do like, and that encourages you to actually see through with those. I really can't find my words today, can I? I cannot find my words. It's like I've put them somewhere, but I don't have a save box for them. I'm going to find a box, and I'm going to start putting words in there. So when I can't find a word, I'm going to start picking words out of the box. Doesn't matter what word it is, I'm just going to put that in the placeholder for whatever it is I'm talking about. So, this week, on Thursday, normally I go to a language exchange. Like I told you last week, I went to a language exchange. But instead of going to the language exchange this week, I decided I'd go somewhere different. The idea being behind the language exchange is that I go, 1, practice my Spanish, and 2, meet new people and engage in whatever. So I thought, well, I could do that. However, there's something else that I like that goes on at the same time, roughly, which would be Frisbee. I'm a big nerd for Ultimate Frisbee. I love Frisbee. It's such a great sport, and a lot of people don't know what the sport is or how it's played. They hear Frisbee and they think, are you a dog? Yes, I do have that dog in me, for 1, but 2, no, the sport is actually really cool, really athletic, and I'm surprised it's not bigger than it is. But I found a local Frisbee team, and they were having a free session on just in a park nearby, and I was like, okay, I'll go to that for a change. Get some. It was like a rest day in the gym. I still had some energy in me. I wanted to run around a bit, get some frustrations out that I've been saying. Like, I've been dealing with some things that have been giving me some frustration and making me feel a bit pent up in certain ways and whatnot. So I was like, this would be a good idea for me to get out, vent a bit of that, latent energy. And also, I'm still meeting new people. I'm still practicing Spanish. And if anything, I practice more Spanish there, even though we spoke probably less, but I practice more Spanish there than I do at the language exchange. Because everyone at the language exchange just wants to speak English. Realistically, just, like, most of the people there that I've met have been from Sevilla and have come to speak English to like people that have come over. Which is cool, and it's fine because I meet cool people and whatnot. However, it's easier to practice Spanish when it's a Spanish-speaking environment in general. But I went there and had a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I've played any Frisbee at all, to be honest. And I've missed it. I really have missed it. It's so much fun. I don't have any boots. I need to get some boots, to be honest, which would be great for playing. But right now, that's not on the priority list for where my money needs to go. So we're gonna hold back on that. We'll play barefoot if we need to. I think there's some beach championships coming up, actually, which is another thing. So they sent in this group chat that I've now been put in. They sent in like the tournament list, and I think the tournaments coming up are all beach championships. And the thought of being like in a beach Frisbee team sounds awesome. That sounds so cool. I would be so excited in it. Like, imagine like the full on layouts you'd get and all that. Yeah, it'd be so cool. I'm not sure how it would work with the wind there. Surely it's quite windy on the beach, but either way, yeah, come on, that's pretty cool. I remember when I joined the uni team back when I was in uni, they did a tour, I think maybe to Croatia, to do a beach frisbee tournament, but I couldn't afford the flights and the trips, or whatever. And also, as much as like it was no one's fault. I just didn't really click as much with the uni frisbee team. Like it very much seemed like they had their sort of friend group, and I wasn't part of that, and that's okay, obviously. But obviously that just makes it a bit harder for you to be part of the team. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really the case. But I'd like to make my way into a frisbee team, because why not? And I'm good with handles. I'm good with handling. I'm a lot fitter now than I used to be. I can run around a lot more, which is obviously very helpful, because it's a lot of sprinting. For people who don't know, but it's a lot of sprinting. It's serious cardio. Uh, and for that, I would like to train more cardio. Hence my parasite, so that I can get my cardio up, so I can run around a bit more. I would love to get into that. If there's anyone that else that is watching this that plays frisbee, let me know. I mean, obviously I live in Spain now, and most of the people that watch my videos are in England. But if I come back, we can sling a frisbee around, we sling a disc around, and have a good time. This is another thought I was thinking, actually. Should I have maybe a Spanish speaking section during this show? Because obviously I've moved here, and if I'm going to be talking to people here and sort of spreading around here, some of the people that are going to want to watch it probably are like primarily Spanish speakers. So maybe I should like try and slide in like a Spanish section, or something along those lines. I know for a fact that during this the album run that we're doing, I know that there's at least a couple of Spanish albums, so obviously they'll enjoy those. But I'm thinking more as well in terms of other things, that which I'm not sure. Anyway, as we've got a little bit way into this, if you guys are enjoying, which I hope you are, feel free to subscribe, drop a like, comment, let me know anything you think. I would love to hear any feedback, because all that means I can do is put it into the show and try and make it better. A separate thing that I almost forgot to tell you about is I I applied for Love Island, purely because I thought it'd be funny. I thought I genuinely think, I think I'd be great on there. I've always thought I'd be great on there. Every time the conversation comes up, I'm like, I'd do great on there. But like, it was never a serious thing. But I was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Why not just put it out there? They may never get back to me, and if they don't, well, I don't mind. It's fine. Whatever. It's not something that will destroy me. But I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be really interesting. And also, right, the thing with Love Island is, whenever I watch it, I've always been like, well, less so nowadays. I was more skeptical in past about the relationships. I was like, is that real? Is that a real thing? Do you really feel these things if you're out there in front of it? But the more I get on, the more I'm thinking, like, you are put for, I think it's 10 weeks without your phones, without knowledge of time, with these people day in, day out. It would make sense. It would make sense that those sort of feelings are generated. It's quite a heavy, intense environment, and those sort of things can happen. And I feel like I would like to explore and see if that's the case from the inside. I'd like to do my research, do my can I say this word, please? My due diligence. My due diligence. Savings on it. Anyway, so that happened. Sorry. What was I saying? Love Island. Applied for that. I was gonna apply for la Isla de las Tentaciones, which is essentially like the Spanish version of Love Island, which is just way more crazy than Love Island. But I think I waited too long, and I think they would have closed the applications by now. And I don't know, there was some things about that I just didn't feel quite right about. It's like I don't feel like I speak good enough Spanish to be on there. Is the thing. I just felt like I'd be annoying, which obviously is silly. I shouldn't really think like that, but that's why I didn't apply a while ago. And I suppose me not applying to that is the reason why I've applied to Love Island now, because I was like, well, if I didn't do that, I might as well do this. But the thing is, again, they have an ungodly amount of applicants, so I have no expectation from it. I just thought it was a funny thing to put out there. Could you imagine me on Love Island? I think I'd win it. I mean, it's me, so of course I think I'll do great, but I think I'd win it. I don't know why, but again, it's just a feeling. It's just a feeling I have por dentro, inside me. I just know that you get me on there, I'm gonna have a good time. Hopefully I could, if I found my wife on Love Island, sweet, cheers, that'd be great. That would solve a lot of problems. That would make it nice and quick and easy. But I mean it happens. The last time I watched Love Island was the season with like Ovi and Tommy Fury and Molly May, them man. And I mean sure, they've had their issues, but like that's a real family sort of thing going on. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that they split up, got back together. That's about as much as I know. But like, that's a relationship. That's how that works. Like, the relationships aren't always super pretty, but they've had a kid together. That's real, So it would be interesting. I would enjoy that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Okay, I've got a little section for you, a little game, which is going to be Who Am I? And I want you to drop your answer in the comment if you can figure out who it is. I don't think this one is too hard. I tried to make it like a little bit harder. Well, that's a lie. It shouldn't be hard at all. I'm sure you'll get this. Okay, so my real name is Peter. I'm a songwriter, originally, but I sing pretty well. In fact, I just don't miss, to be honest. I've won 202 awards, and I've been nominated for 545. Holy fuck. Damn. I was born in Hawaii. Who am I? Now, I'm sure that you can get that, because it's I mean, for me, that's pretty easy. But that's because I love this person. Absolutely love this person. They are... Let me not give away too much, because again, the whole idea is that you guess who they are. So I don't want to give it away to you. You know what I mean? Now, we've had our little ramble. We've had our little section. It's time to get on to the main course of the evening. Which doesn't mean I'm not gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna continue rambling also. But let's get on to the main course of the evening, which is album 497 of the top 500 of the Rolling Stones list, which is the indestructible beat of Soweto. Soweto, I want to say. Soweto. Don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm not going to say any of the song names right either. My bad. I don't know what the name of the language is or if there's multiple languages in South Africa. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just South African. I have no idea. But I do not know what's the name or how to pronounce most of the words. But it's a South African album. There's always kids just shouting random shit outside my window. I don't know why. It's always this corner. They're just... I don't know why I get mad about it. It's a city. Of course there's going to be loud noises. What am I on about? Any hoozles. It's a South African album. And when I was like looking into it and doing... I say looking into it. I did relatively little amount of looking into it. Because that's the kind of research that I be doing. But the idea is it was comprised of multiple artists. So it's not like one artist decided to make an album or something like this. There was a couple fellas. Here it says Trevor Herman and Jumbo Van Rennen, who essentially came up with the idea of going, alright, let's grab a bunch of artists, get a couple of their songs, make an album, like compile like a compilation essentially, and then go, bosh, there you go, album. And that is essentially what they did. It was released in 1985. Various artists were involved, as I've just said. Genres include, and I'm going to butcher all of these because I don't know what any of this is, says, or means. But it says, what's that? Bakanga, Maskanda, Kashio, Isakathamia. Whatever those are, whatever that is, means, says. I'm just hoping I didn't either, one, racially abuse someone, or two, use an ancient incantation to bring back the dead. Not sure. Could possibly be either. It was also very successful to the point where it spawned later volumes. They had the idea to continue doing the same thing, so this ended up being repackaged as Volume 1 because it did well, and then they were like, okay, alright, let's make another one. Other than that, there's not too much on it. It was well received, placed top 10 in some magazines, got A+ ratings. It was well received off the rip, and obviously still holds its standard as the Rolling Stones in 2020 put it into their top 500 list. Other than that, I don't have much more to precursor the album with, other than the fact that obviously it being a South African album means that it's all in another language which I do not understand. Therefore, as far as lyrics go, I will be of no help with deciphering what they are or mean. So I will be purely going off vibes and sounding and whatnot like that. With that said, shall we get into listening to the first song? I think we shall. Whoosh. Fantastic. So the first song, Awungilobolele. 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 I'm fucking with it. The thing is, right, is this. It's so vibey. The music slaps. There's like these background vocals. Like so the main vocalist is a male, and then in the back you've got like these layered female vocals that they're just man. They just vibe. This song feels like it'd go crazy around a campfire. You know, like I feel like I should be like walking in circles around a campfire with a group of people, and like there's the main guy singing and then we're all like singing back and stuff like that. And like it's nighttime. There's a campfire. There's a chicken over the campfire. Or like some sort of poultry over the campfire. And we're singing along, waiting for the chicken to cook. I'm mashed with, and I think, you know why I'm thinking chicken is because at the end of the song, you've got like rooster noises, so I think that's why there's a chicken in my head. I'm sorry to put the rooster straight on the fire, even though he's alive in the song, but you know, maybe I'm hungry. Maybe I could do with some food. Either way, I really like it. Especially, the thing is as well, this is the first song in the album, and the start of the song, I don't know how to explain. Yawn. I don't know how to explain how it comes in, but like the music, it sort of has like this sort of chaotic feel to how the music is built, and then it sort of synergizes and comes together and really, really finds itself. And I gotta say, I'm a big fan. It's just a good vibe. You just feel to it, you know, you just feel good. And I like that. I like to feel good. Don't you like to feel good? We all like to feel good. Yeah, come on, man. We like to feel good. The thing with these songs, I'm probably going to have less to say about most of them, in the fact that I have no idea what they're saying. So there is that issue. Speaking of what they're saying, I like in this song the fact that it's not all just singing. There's a lot of spoken word in the middle of it. Like there's some singing, and then he sort of just speaks for a bit. He sort of chats for a bit, but I like that sort of thing in music and songs. Lorcan made a song recently with me sort of just speaking over the top of some music, which was a really interesting vibe, and it came out really cool. Which I really enjoy stuff like that in music, and I would like to sort of play around with that some more, and other things like that. So it's a really cool aspect of the song, and I like how he's used it. So with that said, we'll go on to the second song, which is Holotelani. Holotelani. I'm going to pretend like that's exactly how you say it. I'm an expert. Let's get into the next one. Yeah. Holotelani that's one of my favourite of the album. Yeah. It's so vibey. Man, I really enjoy that. This song, I haven't put it in the top of the top 500, but I'm debating that. But it's made it into my chill playlist. If I'm smoking a joint, then this is what I want to listen to playlist. This, I feel like there's a fire again, right? But it's sunset this time, like early sunset on the beach around a fire with like stones around it. I'm chilling, passing a joint around in a circle with a very specific group of people, actually. I'm chilling with my friend Phoenix, Olivia, Catherine, my ex-girlfriend, me, and it's just us four. Actually, that's an old group of smoking a joint, and allegedly, And give me that circle of people, that fire pit, a big traffic cone, and this song, some seagulls flying along, you know, the waves going in and out. That's where that song puts me. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. There's the main vocalist this time is, it's the same in the first one where it's a male vocalist and there's a female vocalist, sort of repeating back some things or like in the background. This way, we've got a sort of a call and response. It's more call and response than the first one, but we've got a call and response of a female vocalist starting with some layered male vocals coming in afterwards, and it's they work magnificently together. The music, like the background music, is vibey as fuck. The guitar is really cool in it. It's a very, it's a very, that's not words, but you get the vibe, kind of guitar. And also, sort of towards the end, it sort of has like this sort of guitar solo bit where he gets his moment to pop off. And I like the way they've done that guitar solo. It's like it's not a rock guitar solo where he's like, whatever. He's not doing any of that nonsense. But he has his moment, you know. And I really enjoyed that. Yeah, good song. Very chill. Very enjoyable to listen to. Like, I want to listen to it again now. Whereas, obviously, in change to the last album we listened to, I don't want to listen to it again. Period. However, I'm glad that I listened to it, because now I have listened to it, you know. I find that to be a cool album, but I don't want to listen to it. This, I would listen to repeatedly. It's a very cool vibe. Let's get into the next song, which is what? Qhude Manikiniki. That sounds like that place in Hawaii that's a song in High School Musical. You know what I mean? Anyone who knows High School Musical, put in the comments what that song is called, please. Thank you. Or, I mean, I'm probably gonna, like, put it here. I'm gonna put it here. As you're gonna find out with this album in general, it's very vibey. Yet again, this song, everything just feels good. It's such a feel-good album. Like this song, for example, Where I Am Right Now, I am sat in the back of... Okay, so that's what... So after the beach that I was just on, with my homegirls there smoking a big jizzly joint, I'm now in the back of a convertible car driving home from the beach. The sun's like right very, very, very low now. Basically down. And we're driving away into the sunset. It's like the end of the film. It's like the film credits, right? The camera is like out here. The car's here. The camera is like 100 feet behind us, and it's slowly rising up as we drive away, and the screen is fading to black, and the credits are about to come in. That's where I am. I'm in the back of that car as that's happening. That's where I am when I'm listening to this song. If that makes any sense to you, it's the end of a feel good happy film, you know. It's just a good vibe, and there's a cowbell in this song the whole way through, which makes the song. Like, if this song didn't have the cowbell in it, meh. But it does, so it's awesome. As I was saying, it's the opposite to Suicide. This song it's just very, this song, this album is just very listenable, listen toable. You can listen to this and like it could go in the background. You don't have to think about it too much. If it's just on in the background, it's happy. It's good. It's good vibes. It's chill. Like I could happily put this playlist on in the background of wherever it may be. Like for example, in a barber shop, if you put this on the background, cool, sweet. I think that is good. It's good background happy music, I think. I think that's a large part of the only downside to this is the more of it you listen to, the more you realise what I mean by saying it's background music. Like it's, you listen to 1, 2, 3 and you're like, cool. But I think the more of the similar style that you listen to, the more it sort of just becomes a bit samey. And we'll get onto that a bit later. But for this song, it's just such a feel good vibe, and each one has slightly different vibes to them, but they're all sort of feel good. If you can see, like by the way that I sort of describe them, they have that separate vibe to them, and I really enjoy the way each of them makes me feel and where it puts me mentally. The fact that they have the ability to build this mental imagery for me and give me those feelings, I like that in a song. So anyway, let's move on to our next song, which is something I am not even going to bother trying to pronounce. That's a lie. Go on. Indoda, Yejazi, Elimnyama. Let's give it a listen. Grr. 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 I gotta say, yeah, it's just another banger. The grr in it, yeah, it's fantastic. It's so good. It's so good. I don't know why. For example, that song puts me in a beach bar, right? I'm in like an American beach bar in a 2000s detective film. That's where I'm at. Like if I'm in like Bad Boys, right? It's a scene in Bad Boys, and I'm in a beach bar club before, like we're about to go meet an informant, and this is what's on in the background, and it's just a good vibe. It's just it's just, again, this is another song that could quite easily get added into multiple playlists. A lot of these could, and the only thing that stops them for me, for some of them have made it in, obviously, but the only thing that stops me for some of them is the fact that I've got no idea what it's saying, so it could be saying any manner of crazy things. But honestly, that might make it. That's gonna make it into my my happy playlist. Add to playlist. Vibes happy. It's going in there because it's just such a vibe. It's the grrr. I can't get that out of my head. I'm gonna be doing that all day from now on. I understand very much why whoever it was that grabbed these songs together. I mean, I read who they were earlier. When they were like, okay, this artist, blah blah blah, and grouped this all together in one album, I can see why they put it together in one album, because all these songs fit very well together. They really have and share this same vibe, and the whole album is just a very feel good vibe, and it's very enjoyable to listen to. Which again, I understand now why it's in the top 500, because it's just so. It makes you feel good. I've been saying feel good over and over again, but like that is basically it on a 10 in a nutshell. It just, you cannot feel bad, you cannot be upset listening to this music. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. It's so enjoyable. I should listen to this more often, and drag myself up that way. With that said, we'll move into the next song. Emthojeni Womculo. Let's get it. Hell yeah. So now this song, if I were to describe where it puts me, I am. So if we've got the church, right? I'm in church. If we've got the church, and all my family are in the main room of the church, there's a very specific church that I'm thinking of right now, and I can't remember why. There's a very specific service, especially. I can't remember why we were there. I can't remember whose. Maybe it was a birthday or something. I think it was somebody's birthday, and we were in a church, and there was the main hall of the church, and then there's the in the back room, and in there's the kitchen. This song puts me in. So my family in the main room of the church, and a lot of my family in there, and then I'm in the back room, and I've got a paper plate, and I'm queuing up for the food, and I'm mashing up everything. I'm seeing them. You know what they call the silver trays with the holding thing. I work in hospitality, so how is my brain not working right now? I can't think. But like the hot trays that you've got the food in, and they're set round in a 90-degree angle in the corner of the room, and I'm at the start with my paper plate, and I'm about to go around, get my rice and peas, my curry goat, my mac and cheese, my Johnny cakes. My fried plantain. I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna get myself some good food. I'm gonna go back and I sit next to my mum, and I'm gonna sit there and yomp it up. I'm 14 as well. This is where I'm 11. I'm 11. That's where this song puts me. It also, at the same time, puts me in Moana. Now, you can figure out how I'm in both places at the same time, but I am. And to be honest, those are both cool places. Moana is a great film with a lot of cool vibey stuff, you know, other than like lava monsters and whatnot. But it's a cool vibey place, and the realm of monsters. And then a big plate of nice food, yamming it up next to my mom. Yeah, sweet. That's what it is. It's sort of a feel good, safe family vibe is what that song gives me. The song makes me feel included, feel familyified, and I guess that comes from towards the end of it, like when the group vocals come in, it really gives across that vibe. I think maybe that's where I'm getting that from. There's in a couple of these songs, and obviously this one as well, there's this scrapey instrument. If anyone could tell me what it's called, the thing where you like, it sounds like it's like a wooden spoon going over like wooden washboard kind of thing. That's what it sounds like. Like that. You know what I mean? That instrument is in a lot of these. That and the cowbell and like a couple of the instruments like that. Fucking with them heavily. Like it. You know, you don't hear that in a lot of Western music all the time, so it's nice. It's refreshing. It's enjoyable to hear in the songs and the music. Same with the main singer's vocals. It's this. Apparently, this is quite a common theme in South African singers. Is like this sort of gruff sort of vocal style. And I gotta say, I'm a big fan. I like it. I enjoy it. It goes well against the music. It almost feels like it helps it layer off against the music, you know? And I really enjoy that. Right. Let's get into the next song. Sobabamba. God damn. No lyrics for that song. Doesn't need them. That is That's easily my favourite. Um, I don't know, man. That violin. I think it's a violin. There's a violin, and it's either a guitar or a banjo or some other thing, and those two together work incredibly harmoniously to make you just ascend. It is fantastic. And the violin like solo towards the end. Come on. Come on, man. It's really powerful. This song, I closed my eyes and I was in the house of my second girlfriend. Which is nuts, because that's not I thought of that in a long time. But I was in like her games room, like they had a games room, and I was in there, and then it took me through like the summer, like direct like the summer directly after A levels, where I was madly in love with her. That's where that song put me, which is wild. Which is wild. That song is beautiful. It's fantastic. That's going into the top of the top 500s. That song is in the top of the top 500 because that is undeniably fantastic. I honestly want to listen to it again right now. That's such a beautiful piece of music. Such a good piece of music. Let's move on to the next song, which Qhwayilahle. Want to call it that? Let's move on to the next song and get that into our eardrums. And after the end of this, I'm going to go back and listen to Sobabamba, because that is phenomenal. If there's one I'd suggest you listen to, it's that one. Now, I mean, I enjoyed that song, but out of all of them, I gotta say that's given me like the least response in terms of like full body feeling, you know. However, still mental imagery. It made me think about my nephew. It made me miss my nephew. And made me think about having kids of my own. Sort of drifted off into a bit of thought there. It's a very I don't know, communal song. It seems again like it feels like a big group of people singing. We know I'm a big fan of the call and response type of vocals already, so I like that part of the song. I mean, everyone loves to feel part of something, and this song sort of, where it's like a communal vocal sort of idea, it's sort of, you sort of feel like part of a group, and I mean, psychologically we enjoy that as human beings anyway. It's very good. Like the background music, again, the strings in it are very enjoyable. It's a good song. It's enjoyable. I don't know why I haven't resonated as much with this one, because it's theoretically it should be just as good as the rest, but it's, I don't know, just maybe just didn't hit the right part of my soul, but I do enjoy it nonetheless, but it's just not on the, maybe it's because it's after Sobabamba or Sobamba, yeah, Sobabamba, which obviously really hits me. So maybe the contrast of the two of those, maybe it's a different, it's hard shoes to fill, to be fair to it, but it's a good song. It's decent. I like, again, instrument choice, the way it's sung. I like the group vocals. It's, again, good song. Fits in very well with the album. You can't really complain with it. let's get on to the next one. Thul'ulalele. Yep. Bah. We'll get straight into it. We're going to start getting through these a bit quicker, because it gets a bit samey at this point. With this one, again, to be honest, with most of them, what I like is the title names, the titles of the songs tend to appear pretty frequently in the song, so you can guess why they're called what they're called, which I like. I like that in a song, because if I'm thinking, oh, what's that song called, the lyrics will go in my head, and most of the time you'll find out with these songs, so that's alright. The singing in this song somehow feels like it's slightly off against the music, yet works. Like it doesn't, it's not a bad kind of off, if that makes sense. I like it. It kind of works quite well in the way it does. I wish I had more specific language to explain how it does. It's sort of like the way he sort of drones off and down with his voice when the song doesn't follow that. It's strange, but it works well. I like it. But obviously, as I was saying, at this point, especially with this type of song, largely because of my lack of knowledge of the language, it gets a bit samey at this point. Even to be honest, even if I did know the word, know the songs, like it's quite repetitive. It is quite samey, and this song, I didn't really get taken anywhere. I was sort of just here listening to the song, which is okay too, but the other songs had much more of a visual effect on me, which I think again is a thing with this album. Is the further on in the album you get, the more you get to a point where you're like, okay, I get the point now. Doesn't mean any of the songs aren't good. It's just like there's only so much of one genre you want to consume over and over again, you know. So maybe possibly the album could have been a bit shorter, but obviously with it being various artists, you want to make sure everyone gets their chance to shine, or whoever gets in and whatnot like that. And I'm seeing here actually there's a side, when it was released it was like a disc, and obviously it had a side A and a side B, so that makes more sense. So you'd have 6 songs on one side, 6 songs on the other, which then makes sense because Sobabamba, the one that I like so much, would be the end of side A, and that would be a great song to end on. So that makes a lot more sense to me. So with that in mind, I think I think it's well done, the size that they've done. 6 and 6 I think is perfect. I think that's very good. Right, let's go on to the next one. Sini Lindile. So that song completely took me away from everything, to the point where like I don't even remember what the song sounded like. I was just I wasn't here. I was I think it's the M2. There's a very specific bridge it's like sort of Rochester area going towards, like there's Rochester Bridge, and then there's the other big bridge that's on, I think it's part of the M2, and I was stood on that. I don't even think you can walk across that. Well, you're not supposed to anyway. But I was stood on that bridge, looking towards Rochester Bridge, and like Rochester Castle. And it was a sort of, it It was like an overcast grey day, light grey, not like there wasn't rain. It was just grey. About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was just stood there looking at the water and contemplating whether I could survive that jump, which I don't know if you can because it's a very, very high bridge, but like the side looking down towards Rochester Cineworld. That's where I was, and I was there. Like, I was. I completely transported for that just then. I honestly don't remember what the song sounded like at all. Did I fall asleep? Maybe. I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna go ahead and say it was a decent song. If it's got me there, it was. It. I don't know. I liked it. Cool. Good song. I like it. That was interesting. Wow. That's a strange. It's a strange place to think of as well. Like it's like I've not. There's not any real reason for me to think about that bridge in specific, but cool, I guess. All right. Let's get on to the next song. We've got 3 songs left. So we're gonna get into these. And yeah, I guess. Oh, I have no idea how I'd pronounce that. It's the song before. It's the third to last song, 4th of side B. The 10th song. I was surfing in Australia. Is where I was for that song. I've not been to Australia, and I've never successfully surfed. So I don't know how, but I was there. I was enjoying it. Actually, it's a good song, but like I said, you get towards the end of the album, and you've kind of had it. I definitely think it makes sense. The side A, side B consume half at a time because it is very similar after this point, but it's very, very, again, it's very listen-toable music, which you can't go wrong with when it's music, can you? Like I said, if it's a choice between interesting statement but don't want to listen to it again and listenable music, I'm probably taking the listenable music. Because at least I can listen to it, So we're gonna get on to the next one. We'll go through this next one. I remember the last one being different, so we'll go through this next one and then we'll get into the next one and see what we're saying. So we've got another cool vibe, no lyrics, just another cool vibey song. Doesn't hit as hard as Sobabamba. I don't think anything on this album does, but it's definitely really cool. I think it's a harmonica that's like the main sort of line in this, which I like. I mess with that. Big style. Again, nice to listen to. Puts you in a good mood. Like I was saying earlier on, this is what I mean, is the first couple of songs you're like, whoa, cool, but it's very much background music. Like it fades into the background of your mind, and I think that's why it can paint such powerful imagery, because it just sort of sinks in there and puts you somewhere else, and you're not so much thinking about the music, but it's making you feel things instead, which I think is just as powerful and just as impressive. But obviously, it's then we're no longer thinking about the music. So it depends how you see it. But I enjoy the music as it is. but it definitely sort of seeps into the background of your mind, if you understand what I mean there, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, that's what I like. I like to have. There's a fly that's been winding me up for the past however long. I don't know if you've seen me following it with my eyes for the rest of the video, but it's doing my nine. What was I saying? Yeah, it's not bad if it seeps into the back of your mind. I often like to put music on that seeps into the back of my mind so that I can do other things. So this could be perfect for that. Now, let's get on to the last song of this album and give that a listen. And I'm aware that this is different, so we'll give this a go. What a soothing piece of music. It just tells your soul, hey, dude, it's alright. It's chill. There's nothing, it's just vocal work. It's just people's voices. But they're so beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's a fantastic way to close out this album. And I like how different it is to the rest of it. It gives you that breath of fresh air that you're looking for. Yeah, I would suggest giving this song I listen to out of the album. My favourites would be Holotelani to start with, the Indoda, Yejazi, Elimnyama, Sobabamba, and then Nansi, Imali. Those songs are the best on the album for me. The album as a whole all fits very well together, suits each other very, very well. For me, album side A of the album is better. I wonder if I'd think the same if I heard side B first. But for me, side A is better. I prefer a lot of the songs on that. I think overall, I 100% agree that it deserves its place on this list. I think it's a fantastic album. I like the fact that it's a compilation album. I think that's very cool. Especially the fact that it's a compilation album and then it's got put out in other countries. It gives a different market a chance to hear some music that it otherwise wouldn't. And like, this is the thing, is I would never have found my way to this album had it not been for one, it being pushed out of its usual sphere and to being put on this list. And I've got to say, I'm richer for it. I really do enjoy it. It's really good. It's good music. And I've really enjoyed the album as a whole. It's worth listening to. It's worth re-listening to. And yeah, it's a very good album. Like I said, the only drawback for this is it can feel a little repetitive. Like, a lot of the songs do have a lot of repetition in them, and obviously with the genres being very similar, it feels then like the repetition is carried over a few songs. So I would suggest consuming it like not all in one go, as it is the album as a whole is 45 minutes start to finish, so it is 45 minutes of sort of the very similar vibe for a lot of it. So that's the only drawback I think there is to this whole album. Otherwise, I think it's phenomenal. And I've really enjoyed it in general. With that said, I think I shall give you my poem. I need a name for this poetry section. But I've written a poem, like I do each time, not for, but like inspired by the album that I've just listened to. This one more so follows the lines of the way it made me feel and the sort of feelings it gave. So let me read it for you. Shall I? It's called Glad You're Here. You're right. Sun in your eyes and sand in your socks. Alcohol in your system while waves break on rocks. Your family rest calmly in the cove of Arklow Bay. And when you breathe in the air, you're grateful you stayed. This life is full of beauty. It's full of wonder. Whether there is sun in your eyes or clouds and thunder. Let the music remind you you've nothing to fear. And let me remind you that I'm glad that you're here. So, again, the idea is this music fills my soul with hope and happiness and joy, and reminds that there is so much beauty despite whatever's going on. You can close your eyes, listen to this music, and remember that there are good things too. And I wanted to share the fact that no matter who it is that's watching this right now, whether it be one person, whether it be however, God knows however many, I'm glad you're here. And I don't mean here as in watching my video, couldn't give a shit about that. I mean I'm glad you're here, on Earth, and living. It's hard. It's hard to live. For everyone, regardless of what's going on. Even if you feel like you've got it good, it's still hard. And I want you to know, you specifically, I want you to know that I'm glad you're here. You're doing well. And keep going. Okay? So there's that section done. I shall swiftly move on to my Hyper-fixation Song. Now, this song is an old banger. It's an old classic. It had its time and it sort of went massive. And I was big on this tune for so long. And it's what got me into the artist behind it. And I just went through my liked songs recently and I found it again and I was like, you know what, that's a banger! So I moved it up to the top of my liked songs again and started listening to it again recently. It's Advice by Qhude and Dino, right? Dino obviously still, he just recently put out a song recently, I think called Girls or something like that. However, obviously, rest in peace Qhude. I still can't believe he's gone. I was unbelievably sad when he died. And this is the thing is, right, I'm not normally one to care when celebrities die. Because again, I mean, they're just other people, you know, and like, it's as sad as anyone else dying is. I'm not more sad because they're a celebrity or mouse or whatever. However, I don't know what it was, but I felt very connected to Qhude. I loved his music, and I don't know, I guess it meant a lot to me, and I was so excited watching him grow, because I'd been I want to say that I'd maybe Advice was mentioned to him, but seeing him start blowing up and getting props and all this kind of stuff, I was excited for him, because I went back through and I was listening to his music and my boy can spit, and Closure especially being one of the hardest songs that I've heard. I loved it. And when he died, I was like, shit. Just like that, it's gone. And it was crazy. I believe he died in a car crash. I think he'd got an Uber, and it was just like that. It was just a car crash. It was just nothing crazy to it. It was just bang, and he's gone. And it was one of those that sort of reminds you. I mean, as he said, right now anyone can get it. You know what I mean? Like, you can be here and gone quick. So yeah, this is the end of this. The end of this podcast has taken a turn towards very, like, deeper themes and life and death and whatnot. But I am in general an emotional and deep person, so there's no surprise with that. Either way, that's my Hyper-fixation song at the minute. Big fan, always loved that song, and will continue to rep it out for God knows how long. It's an absolute tune, absolute banger, smacker. Right, that is pretty much all from me, I think. If you have enjoyed, if you've made it this far, let me know in a comment, let me know with a like, hit the subscribe button, follow along. I'm going to be doing these regardless. If there's 0 people watching, or if there's, I don't know, 10 million people watching, I really enjoy these sessions, actually. It's turning into an almost sort of therapy for me. So I'm going to continue with this, and I hope that it reaches somebody, and somebody feels the same and enjoys it. So with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hasta pronto, amigos.